Alrighty, welcome back, guys. I know it's been a little while. Should I say a little while? I do this every time. But anyways, this wanted to cover basically the nerfs that are coming up into War Robots that I think are very interesting and are definitely going to change the entire meta for sure. Alright, so how this is going to work is I'm just going to read the entire label for y'all, each robot and whatnot, just so I can give you my thoughts at the end of it. But anyways, for starting with the Curie, increased cooldown of blink support from 8 seconds to 14 seconds, reduced turret damage from minus 30%, reduced turret effective range, so lower range, and increased lockdown accumulation rate from turrets by 15%. Increased bonus to movement speed from blink support from 70% to 90%. So basically, two goods and two bads, basically. I think the bads outweigh the goods, and honestly, I think that the Curie is definitely needed a nerf for a long time now. This thing is too strong, and if you can just keep spamming the ability, so I think that, increasing that ability or ability cooldown and whatnot is definitely a good thing. But all the rest of them, I feel like is unnecessary, but except for the range of the turrets, I feel like the range should definitely get nerfed down by a bit, because 600 in my opinion is just completely insane to me. Like, I don't understand that. 600 meters, like, wow. But moving on to the Crisis. The Crisis just has increased cooldown of stealth from 5 to 7 seconds, so I think the Crisis should not have been touched. I don't know why. I don't even see that many Crisis out lately, especially since the Baglior or something like that, I think that's the name of it, is going to replace the Crisis tenfold. So it's I don't think that the Crisis should have gotten nerfed. I think it's perfect the way it is. Moving on to the Dagon. I'm not liking this one so far. So basically, decreased durability, so reduced durability from 220,200 to 176,000. Reduced duration of shield surge from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. Increased cooldown of shield surge from 10 seconds to 12 seconds. Increased bonus to movement speed from shield surge from 30% to 35%. Increased Aegis regeneration rate when shield surge is active from 9,800 to 10,800. So I think that this was definitely an unnecessary nerf. It's more of a nerf than anything else, because you basically add 4 seconds if you give 2 seconds away from the ability, and then add 2 seconds to the cooldown as well, if you know what I mean. But a little bit more movement speed and a little bit more shield regeneration on the ability, which I think the ability is kind of useless in this meta anyways. The Aegis can be bypassed by basically everything now, so it doesn't make any sense to even run the Dagon, even though I have it in my lineup, and I do love my Dagon because it does have a lot of firepower, but it's just too squishy in this meta. Moving on to the Inquisitor. So reduced cooldown of Descend from 18 to 17 seconds. The Inquisitor is really used in Champion. I have not seen an Inquisitor in probably a few years, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe you see them oddballs, or maybe in the 7v7s and stuff like that, you'll see an Inquisitor every once in a while, but I think that it's definitely a good thing that the Inquisitor's getting a little bit of a buff. I'm sure that the lower leagues can definitely benefit from that, so if you guys want to hop on that, definitely check the Inquisitor out for sure. The next one is Hades, so increased durability from 233,100 to 250,000. Yes, I love the Hades. I have one in my lineup and I just love it. I mean, like I said before, same thing as the Aegis suffers from, where it's just shield break is everywhere, so Hades can't really be used in this meta, but it's still always nice to see it, and metas change all the time, so who knows, maybe the Hades definitely has a future. Not only that, but Pixonic also likes to slowly buff things, so maybe Hades is gonna get another buff here soon, which would be really nice. Going on to the Jaeger, so increased damage of built-in weapon from 38,766 to 45,000. Increased bonus to movement speed from Scout mode from 1.75 to 2 times. Increased damage bonus from Sniper mode depending on the robot grade. So honestly, I have not used the Jaeger ever. Besides on the test server when it was first released and whatnot, I tested it then. But it's good to see this because, again, I've never seen one before or played one, so hopefully maybe I'll even see one after this buff. People just testing it out and whatnot, but it's always nice to see these buffs and whatnot. No nerfs on the Jaeger, which is always a good thing. moving on to the Leech. So increased movement speed from 58 to 60 kilometers. I think this is definitely a positive thing. I love the Leech, and I really miss that meta as well. Maybe we'll see a few more leeches, and I'm not gonna say that I haven't seen any leeches because I do every once in a while. I think the last, or an update or two ago, the leech also got updated or buffed, and you know, I've been seeing a few of them ever since, so it's good to see that. But still, I think that the leech maybe could have gotten a little bit more speed, but I'm just nitpicking at this point. You know, it's still good. It's always good to see the leech getting buffed. Next up, we have the Lynx. So reduce movement speed from 70 to 62 kilometers. Increase bonus to movement speed from ferocity from 100% to 140%. Increase cooldown of ferocity from 9 to 11 seconds. So I think that the Lynx is maybe could have used a little bit of a nerf, but not that hard. I feel like that was a little bit too much. I feel like on the speed, maybe knock down 5 kilometers at most. Even that's still a little too much in my opinion, but I feel like the ability is going to stay the same since it's also increased by 40%. Hopefully, when you're activating the ability, it's still the same speed all around as you activated your ability previously. Hopefully it's the same speed. So, but increased cooldown. Okay, I already saw this coming. This is usually how they nerf them, so I already saw that one coming. So, but again, I don't think the Lynx should have really been touched because there's a lot of adjustments to be made. A bunch of other weapons and a bunch of other robots as well, so I feel like the Lynx is still going to be a strong robot in this meta though. Next up we have Nightingale. So reduce cooldown of air support from 18 to 15 seconds, increase bonus to movement speed from air support depending on the robot grade. So you know, always good to see the Nightingale getting buffed. I actually have one. I haven't used it for a long time. I want to say like before even my last video. I haven't used the Nightingale in a very long time. But this definitely intrigues me. I definitely want to try it out now. I think that the cooldown is definitely a good thing. I mean, you know, could always use that, and then hopefully it maintains its speed in the air as well. Because I remember when they nerfed the Nightingale for the first time and whatnot, they nerfed the speed and then they nerfed the height and all that stuff. I think honestly, if you just return the Nightingale back to what it was, it would be fine. Now for the Achokachi. So increase durability from 300,000 to 330,000. Reduce knockback impulse from Stampede by 25%. Reduce acceleration from Stampede minus 33%. So honestly, I think this is definitely an interesting one. This is the third or fourth time Achokachi's gotten nerfed already at this point. It's gotten more health, which is a good thing, but you know, the Stampede and knockback, or the impulse Stampede and whatnot, is definitely a huge nerf, because now I feel like you can't throw people around. But I don't know, this is one of those things you're gonna have to test in the test server once it's released and everything like that. And then reduce acceleration from Stampede, so you're not even gonna be going as far anymore. You can't travel halfway across the map anymore, basically. Next we have the Pathfinder. Reduce damage bonus from hunter stacks 20% to 10% per stack. Increased repair for destroying enemy robots while under the hunter effect. So I don't really know too much about the Pathfinder. I've never really used it, even on the test server. I was not really interested in the Pathfinder, I'm not gonna lie, but you know, this is definitely a slight nerf. I think that, you know, the Pathfinder definitely needed it, although I don't really know how you could nerf it that bad. I feel like this is one of those things you're definitely gonna have to check out the test server and actually see it in person, actually see if it is a good or bad thing, or obviously any nerf is bad, but just to see if it's or if a bad nerf. Alright, for the Raptor, increase movement speed from 45 to 47 kilometers, reduce damage of built-in weapon from 200 or 2,480 to 2,000, reduce damage from Comet Splash from 45,000 to 30,000, reduce the amount of damage reflected by the reflector from 40% to 30%. So this is definitely huge. Even though the Raptor has like just been released not so long ago, it's already getting nerfed. I don't think this is a bad nerf. I feel like it's 110% because it's still going to be viable and everything like that, because it's not really nerfing the reflector all that much besides like the damage being reflected, right? So it's not really going to affect it too much. My concern is it's getting a little bit faster, I'm not going to lie. But you know, other than that, I feel like the Raptor, the main thing that needs to be nerfed is definitely the reflector for sure. As you can see, me fighting one right now, the thing's insane. Next up we have the Revenant. So increase protection from gray damage while under the effect of aggressive blink from 90% to 99%. So I think this is extremely interesting, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even know that the Revenant had or received gray damage while its ability was active. I always thought that it didn't, but I guess it did. But this is what, again, the second or third buff for the Revenant, which, you know, makes me definitely interested in. I already have one, so I need to look for a weapon set for that for sure, because I definitely want to try that out once it goes live. Next we have Shenlu. So increase blink interval from 3 to 5 seconds, reduced Aegis shield accumulation rate from 50 to 40,000 per blink, changed Aegis profile. So basically another slight nerf. Well, this isn't a slight, this is actually kind of catastrophic for this Shenlu, because now you can actually attack it, which it's kind of or as it blinks and whatnot, right? So you're given more time to attack it, which usually when I'm fighting Shenlus and whatnot, I don't really end up fighting them for very long, or they're not very durable, right? So, you know, this I feel like is going to be pretty catastrophic to the Shenlu for sure. Not only that, but you're getting less Aegis as well, so that's definitely interesting. Not only that, but now you have a dome Aegis instead of smaller Aegis now, so this is definitely a huge nerf for the Shenlu, and it's kind of scary. I've never had one, but definitely not interested in Shenlu anymore. So definitely some interesting things coming forward, as in robot nerfs and robot buffs and whatnot. So hopefully we see some different gameplay, I want to say, but I feel like a lot of the meta robots are still going to stay meta, and all these nerfs are also just following along with the old robots as well, so it would just be a little bit easier to deal with the meta robots, right? As like if you're, for example, playing in a Hades or anything else like that, right? But I feel like all of these nerfs are definitely mostly necessary, except for like the Crisis and the Dagon and things like that. But other than that, I can't really complain too much. I feel like a lot of these nerfs definitely needed to happen, and I feel like more nerfs are coming in for, like, for example, the Raptor and all of those as well. And then not only that, but there's still also a lot of weapon nerfs, and there's also Titan and Titan weapon nerfs and a bunch of other stuff too, which I'm gonna go ahead and discuss in the next video as well. Otherwise this video would end up being too long. But anyways guys, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all enjoy this gameplay. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.